Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. In this video, I'll be covering 3 free-to-play weekends that are going on Steam right now. Along with the free weekends on each of these games, you can enjoy a pretty deep discount. And with all of these games, they're pretty significant games and games that I think a lot of you guys would want to try out, but I'm sure the price may have been something that put you off. So until tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, you will have the opportunity to play these games absolutely free of cost. And then if you enjoy them, you can make the decision on buying them if you would like. Also have an update on RPCS 3. There is a game that is fully playable from start to finish. It was one of the PlayStation 3's more underrated titles, but man, an absolutely crazy title, so I do want to talk a little bit about that. I'll also leave a link to a gameplay video in the description box down below to RPCS 3's official channel. So first, let's talk about all of the free-to-play weekends that are going on Steam. I believe 3 in one weekend is pretty significant. Now, unfortunately, because they are just available for the weekend, you probably won't be able to check out all 3 of them. I probably should have let you guys know about this yesterday, but hey, better late than never. First, probably most significant, is you can check out Xcom 2 absolutely free for the weekend. And Xcom 2 is an excellent game. A lot of depth in its gameplay. Now, Xcom 2 is a lot similar to Xcom Enemy Unknown, so if you just want to get into the series and just want to experience it, probably would recommend you to check out Enemy Unknown first, just because it is a lot cheaper. But Xcom 2 is 67% off right now for $19.79. Pretty good deal. Again, if you want a taste of the game, download it for free, and then you'll be able to play it until 4 p.m. Eastern. So great game, highly recommended, one of the PC's best games from 2016. On top of that, we also have a free weekend of For Honor. Now, this is a game that I am not too big of a fan of. However, Ubisoft has stayed very committed to the experience. That seems to be the Ubisoft prerogative going forward, is to release a game. Maybe it doesn't release as the best product possible, but then over time, they will enhance the experience. They did that with The Division. They did that with Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, and they're kind of doing it with Assassin's Creed Origins as well, although Origins was a pretty good game from the get-go. On top of downloading the game for free and playing it over the weekend, you can enjoy a pretty good discount on it, 33% off for the starter edition. I would stay away from that because the standard edition is 75% off for just 15 bucks. That's a pretty good deal for For Honor. The only issue with this game is that it is a game that has struggled with its user base. Right now, there's 17,000 people online, which is a lot, but it is a free-to-play weekend, so hopefully some of that is sustained, since this is primarily an online-only game, and you're gonna want an active community to play the game with, because if you don't have an active community, then it's gonna end up like Lawbreakers, and you don't want that. And then finally, a game I don't know much about, Off-World Trading Company, is also free to play for the weekend. That is an economy space strategy game, so another game to check out. That is 50% off for $9.99. Can't speak more on that because I am not too familiar with the game. So yeah, I would recommend to prioritize Xcom 2, and playing For Honor, it might surprise you a little bit because it has gotten better through the year. But as far as those 2 games, if you just want to pick one game to focus on, Xcom 2 is an excellent tactical RPG, and I was a big fan of that game. Big fan of Enemy Unknown, so would highly recommend you to check that out. Okay, so moving on from that, RPCS 3, the PlayStation 3 emulator that has been making immense progress through the year thanks to a lot of support on its official Patreon. It has made significant progress, and I've always mentioned this, a PlayStation 3 emulator, a working one, is something that I never thought would come to fruition because of the horrendous cell architecture. Developers have spoke out on how the PS3 was one of the hardest consoles to develop for, and if you guys go back and look at a lot of the games that were released on the PS3 and Xbox 360, a lot of them were dumbed down visually for the PS3 because it was so hard to develop for. Red Dead Redemption is a game that sticks out to me, ran at 720p on the Xbox 360. PlayStation 3, it ran at 640p, I believe, so you get the idea with that. But now RPCS 3 is the PlayStation 3 emulator, and guess what? Asura's Wrath is now playable fully from start to finish. The game, including the DLC, is completely playable, which is very relevant because Asura's Wrath is actually one of those scummy games that end kind of inconclusively and then the DLC wraps it up. That was garbage. You never want to see that in a game, but now in 2018, that just seems to be more of a common practice more than ever. But yeah, Asura's Wrath, a game that never saw a PC release, unfortunately, is now playable fully on the PS3 emulator. But I should be mentioning that the game is running on a very high-end PC, an 8700K at 5 GHz. But it is noted that 30 frames per second is achievable on lower-end CPUs like an i5 4670K. So that is very impressive. Asura's Wrath, one of those games that the PlayStation 3 emulator can really open up PC gamers to. That's why I really want an emulator like this, because there were a lot of off-the-wall games that were released on the PlayStation 3 that the majority of gamers have completely forgotten about, but to be able to re-experience them, maybe even increase the internal resolution and play them on PC, that would be wonderful. I'm talking games like Folklore, games like Heavenly Sword, games like the Resistance franchise. Some games that you guys may have never heard about. The first Ni no Kuni title. We have Ni no Kuni 2 on PC. We don't have the first Ni no Kuni game. The PlayStation 3 emulator would be a great way to play those games. Of course, there's titles like Little Big Planet, God of War, the Uncharted games. So when RPCS3 is in a more playable state, and now it's actually getting to a point where it is feasible, a game like Asura's Wrath, a great game, a very chaotic game, not super interesting from a gameplay and mechanical standpoint because it is a lot of quick time events, but man, seeing the game in motion, it was pretty jaw-dropping back in the day. And probably a game a lot of you guys haven't heard about. But man, it was a very cool game, and I would love to replay it, and now I can with RPCS3, so hopefully the PS3 emulator continues to make significant progress. Again, the gameplay video running on RPCS3, it'll be in the description box down below. That's gonna conclude this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Again, for the free weekends, we've got XCOM 2, For Honor, as well as Off-World Trading Company. My opinion, focus on XCOM 2 if you're not interested in that style of game. For Honor is a decent look as well. A game that has gotten better through the last year, and it's got 17,000 people online, and after this weekend, who knows how much of that will be sustained. And RPCS3, the emulator, is making a lot of progress. Asura's Wrath, fully playable now from start to finish. That's really cool. A game that I know isn't the biggest marquee title, but a title I was a pretty big fan of, so cool stuff there. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.